Did you know that the richest man in history was African? Imagine a king so rich that even his own time couldn't count all his gold. That was Mansa Musa, the emperor, Mansa means king, of the Mali Empire in the 1300s. He ruled a vast West African kingdom, covering lands now in Guinea, Senegal, Mauritania, Gambia, and Mali, at the very height of its power. Musa is often listed as the richest person ever. His court and country glowed with gold and wealth. In fact, historians say he was described by his contemporaries as inconceivably rich, and even Time magazine noted there is no way to put an accurate number on his wealth. Mansa Musa, whose reign stretched from 1312 to 1337, wasn't just a king. He was the ninth ruler of the Mali Empire, a kingdom already steeped in history and influence. His ascension marked a pivotal moment, not only for Mali but for the wider world, as he inherited a land brimming with potential and resources. This was a time when empires were built on strength, strategy, and crucially, control of valuable commodities. Musa's position as the ninth ruler placed him at the helm of an empire ready to explode onto the world stage. He reigned over what many historians consider a golden age, a period of unprecedented prosperity and expansion for the Mali Empire. At the heart of this prosperity lay Mali's control over the lucrative gold and salt trades. These weren't mere commodities, they were the lifeblood of economies, the currencies of kingdoms. Gold, of course, was universally valued, while salt, essential for preserving food and vital for human health, was as precious as gold in many parts of Africa. The empire's wealth stemmed from its control of key gold mines, most notably Bambouk and Buri. These weren't small-scale operations. They were vast, sprawling complexes that yielded staggering amounts of gold. Gold flowed out of these mines like rivers, enriching the empire and solidifying its position as a major economic power. Furthermore, Mali strategically taxed the caravan trade that crisscrossed the Sahara Desert. Every camel laden with goods, every merchant seeking passage, contributed to the empire's coffers, further amplifying its wealth and influence. The scale of Mansa Musa's control over the gold trade was truly staggering. Historians estimate that he controlled up to half of the Mediterranean world's gold supply. This wasn't just a regional dominance, it was a global influence that shaped economies and dictated trade routes. Imagine the power that came with controlling such a vital resource, the ability to influence markets, and the leverage to negotiate with other powerful nations. When we try to grasp the sheer magnitude of Mansa Musa's wealth, modern comparisons often fall short. Consider this: today's richest person, Elon Musk, boasts a fortune of around $381 billion, a truly staggering amount, yet even that pales in comparison to the estimated wealth of Mansa Musa, which is believed to have been around $400 billion adjusted for today's value. But even that number doesn't fully capture the reality. To put it into even greater perspective, the first Roman emperor, Augustus, a figure synonymous with wealth and power, had an estimated net worth of about $5 trillion. And the Mongol emperor Genghis Khan, who controlled a vast empire stretching across continents, oversaw an economy worth approximately $100 trillion. These figures are astronomical, representing the accumulation of wealth across entire empires. But even these comparisons struggle to fully encapsulate the extent of Musa's riches. He didn't just control a portion of the gold supply, he effectively owned most of West Africa's gold reserves. This gave him unparalleled economic power, allowing him to shape the destiny of his empire and influence the world beyond its borders. His wealth wasn't just about numbers, it was about control, influence, and the ability to shape the world around him. In 1324, Mansa Musa set off on the Hajj, a pilgrimage to Mecca, with a spectacular entourage. He traveled with 20,000 people, 8,000 nobles and 12,000 servants, plus 100 camels loaded with gold. One historian described it as like a whole town decamping in the desert, complete with a portable mosque built for the emperor to pray wherever he stopped. Each night Musa's caravan was like a moving city of wealth. As he went from city to city, Musa showered gold upon everyone he met. In Cairo, Egypt, he distributed so much gold that he literally flooded the city with his benefactions, giving a gift of gold to every court official he could find. Mansa Musa's legendary pilgrimage to Mecca was more than just a spiritual journey, it was an economic earthquake. His extravagant displays of wealth, particularly his distribution of gold, had a profound and lasting impact on the regions he traversed. This generosity, while seemingly benevolent, actually broke the market. Historians meticulously recorded the economic fallout. The price of gold in Egypt plummeted sharply in the wake of Musa's visit. The influx of gold destabilized the existing market dynamics, creating an oversupply that drastically reduced its value. It wasn't a temporary dip. The price of gold struggled to recover for over a decade, leaving a lasting scar on the Egyptian economy. This unprecedented event serves as a stark reminder of the delicate balance within economic systems and how even well-intentioned actions can have unforeseen consequences. The devaluation of gold was so significant that it altered the established exchange rates. One particularly telling story recounts that a gold coin, previously valued at 25 silver coins, depreciated to a mere 22 silver coins. This shift in value persisted for an astonishing 12 years, highlighting the magnitude and duration of the economic disruption caused by Musa's gold distribution. Imagine the confusion and instability this created for merchants and traders who relied on a stable currency for their livelihoods. In short, Mansa Musa gave away so much gold that Egypt experienced a severe shortage of the precious metal. The sheer volume of gold he introduced into the economy overwhelmed the existing demand, leading to a paradoxical situation where the abundance of gold actually diminished its worth. The markets were flooded, and the local economy struggled to absorb the sudden surge in supply. Musa didn't just quietly donate his wealth, he made a spectacle of it. He relished the opportunity to showcase his immense riches, ensuring that everyone was aware of his power and affluence. His displays of opulence were not merely acts of generosity, they were carefully orchestrated performances designed to impress and intimidate. He even propagated outlandish tales, such as the claim that gold grows on trees in my kingdom, to further amplify his image as a ruler of unimaginable wealth. These stories, while clearly fantastical, served to reinforce the perception that his coffers were inexhaustible and that his kingdom was a land of unparalleled abundance. He spent and spent with reckless abandon, distributing gold with such fervor that he nearly depleted his own resources on the return journey. His generosity, while initially celebrated, ultimately proved to be unsustainable, pushing him to the brink of financial ruin. Some historical accounts even suggest that he was compelled to borrow money from Egyptian bankers to finance the remainder of his trip back home. This humbling experience serves as a poignant reminder that even the wealthiest individuals are not immune to the constraints of financial reality. In modern terms, Mansa Musa's spending spree was so extravagant that he could have single-handedly made it rain gold across the entire landscape of North Africa, leaving an indelible mark on the region's economy and collective memory. His actions serve as a cautionary tale about the potential consequences of unchecked wealth and the importance of responsible financial management. After the pilgrimage, Mansa Musa didn't just count his gold, he invested it. He invited scholars, architects, and artists to Mali. For example, he brought back a famous Andalusian architect, Abu Ishaq al-Sahili, from Cairo to build in Mali. He also hired jurists and astronomers to staff schools and judges in Timbuktu. Musa poured gold into building projects. He raised mosques and schools in cities like Timbuktu and Gao. Most famously, he financed the Jingwereber Mosque in Timbuktu, an architectural masterpiece, which was built starting in 1327 and still stands today. Mansa Musa, upon his return from his transformative pilgrimage to Mecca, embarked on a mission to elevate the intellectual landscape of his kingdom. He envisioned a center of learning that would rival the most prestigious institutions of the time. To achieve this ambitious goal, he turned his attention to the University of Sankore. He refounded the University of Sankore, investing heavily in its infrastructure and faculty, with the explicit intention of making it into a true medieval university, a beacon of knowledge that would attract scholars and students from across the known world. Musa's vision for Sankore was comprehensive. He sought to establish a diverse and rigorous curriculum, encompassing a wide range of disciplines. He brought in leading astronomers whose understanding of the cosmos was highly valued, mathematicians who could unlock the secrets of numbers and shapes, and lawyers, experts in Islamic law, to ensure justice and order within the kingdom. These scholars formed the core of Sankore's faculty, attracting students eager to learn from the best minds of the era. The impact of Musa's investment in education was profound and far-reaching. Soon, Timbuktu, once a regional trading post, became a magnet not only for commerce but also for learning and intellectual exchange. The city's reputation as a center of knowledge spread rapidly, drawing in individuals seeking to expand their horizons and contribute to the growing body of knowledge. Merchants, eager to tap into the wealth and resources of Mali, and scholars, driven by a thirst for knowledge, came from far away, traversing vast distances to study at Sankore and exchange goods, ideas, and cultural perspectives. This influx of people and ideas transformed Timbuktu into a vibrant cosmopolitan center, a melting pot of cultures and intellectual traditions. The tales of Timbuktu's prosperity and intellectual prowess reached distant lands. In fact, traders from Venice, Granada, and Genoa, major centers of commerce and learning in Europe, began mapping Timbuktu on European charts, recognizing its growing importance as a hub of trade and knowledge. These European traders were amazed by reports of its wealth, fueled by the gold trade, and the sheer volume of books housed within its libraries, a testament to the city's commitment to learning and scholarship. The combination of material wealth and intellectual capital made Timbuktu a truly exceptional city in the eyes of the world. The University of Sankore flourished under Musa's patronage, attracting students from across Africa and beyond. One scholar, writing about the university's golden age, said that at its peak, Timbuktu could host an astonishing 25,000 students, a figure that speaks volumes about the city's reputation as a center of learning. The university's libraries were renowned for their vast collections of manuscripts, covering a wide range of subjects, from theology and law to astronomy and medicine. It held over 800,000 manuscripts, an incredible library for any age, a treasure trove of knowledge that attracted scholars from far and wide. Mansa Musa's reign was marked by both material prosperity and intellectual flourishing. In short, Musa's gold built more than palaces and mosques. It built a lasting legacy, a center of knowledge that would continue to inspire generations to come. Mansa Musa's ambition extended beyond the accumulation of wealth. He famously said he wanted something more than gold and riches, a legacy that would endure beyond his lifetime. And he got it. He achieved his ambition by turning Mali into a golden age not just of economic prosperity but of education and culture, fostering a society where learning and artistic expression were highly valued. This intellectual golden age, with grand mosques serving as centers of worship and learning, and universities attracting scholars from across the globe, is why Mali under Musa became legendary, a shining example of a kingdom that valued knowledge and culture as much as wealth and power. But let's step back and understand what made this empire so remarkable. The Mali Empire wasn't just about gold. It was a sophisticated state with a complex bureaucracy, a standing army, and a system of tribute from vassal states. Picture this. While Europe was still emerging from the Dark Ages, Mali had established trade networks that stretched from the Atlantic coast to the Mediterranean, from the Sahara to the tropical forests. The empire was religiously diverse, with Islam as the state religion but traditional African beliefs persisting in harmony. This wasn't just tolerance, it was strategic brilliance, allowing Musa to unite diverse peoples under one crown. Mali's intellectual heritage ran deeper than its famous libraries. The empire's oral traditions, preserved by griots, master storytellers and historians, kept alive the memories of kings, battles, and wisdom that stretched back centuries. These griots weren't just entertainers, they were living libraries, human repositories of law, history, and culture. Meanwhile, Timbuktu's manuscript culture flourished alongside these oral traditions. Scholars wrote in Arabic on astronomy, mathematics, law, and medicine. They debated philosophy, recorded legal precedents, and advanced scientific knowledge. Think about this. While medieval Europe was copying ancient Greek texts, African scholars in Timbuktu were creating new knowledge, pushing the boundaries of human understanding. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage didn't just showcase his wealth, it fundamentally changed how the world saw Africa. Before his journey, many regions knew little about the kingdom south of the Sahara, but Musa's spectacular display put Mali on the map. Literally, European cartographers began including Mali and Timbuktu on their maps, often depicting Musa himself holding a golden nugget, crowned and regal. His reign inspired stories and legends that spread across Africa, the Middle East, and Europe. Arab historians wrote extensively about his empire, describing cities of gold and learning that seemed almost mythical to distant readers. Mansa Musa died around 1337, likely on his way back to Mecca, His long reign left Mali at its peak size and power, stretching across the Sudan-Sahel region of West Africa. Many later historians even call his rule Mali's Golden Age. But no leader after him was as great. Over the next century, the empire slowly lost territory. In the 1400s, the rising Songhai Empire began seizing Mali's key cities. It captured Timbuktu in 1468 and other provinces soon after. By 1599, the once golden Mali Empire had collapsed. Still, the memory of Musa's wealth and his great cities survived long after. Timbuktu's fabled libraries and the story of the king who made it rain gold echoed through history. Even as empires rose and fell, Timbuktu's reputation as a center of learning persisted. The city's libraries and universities became legendary, with manuscripts on astronomy, mathematics, law, and medicine that rival any collection of their time. Many of these manuscripts survive today, offering us a window into Africa's intellectual history that challenges every stereotype about the continent's past. In our modern era, there's been renewed interest in preserving Timbuktu's manuscripts and heritage. This became especially urgent after the 2012-2013 crisis in Mali, when extremists threatened to destroy these priceless documents. Brave librarians and scholars risked their lives to smuggle hundreds of thousands of manuscripts to safety, understanding that they were preserving not just books, but the very soul of African intellectual achievement. Today, digitization projects are making these manuscripts accessible to scholars worldwide, revealing the depth and sophistication of medieval African scholarship. Mansa Musa's story does more than entertain. It fundamentally challenges how we think about world history. For too long, narratives of medieval civilization focused almost exclusively on Europe and Asia, ignoring the sophisticated kingdoms of Africa. But Musa's Mali Empire was contemporaneous with medieval Europe, and in many ways more advanced. While European kings struggled with limited treasuries, Musa commanded wealth that dwarfed entire European kingdoms. While European universities were just beginning to form, Timbuktu was already a thriving center of international scholarship. The Mali Empire was part of a broader tradition of powerful African kingdoms that included Ghana before it and Songhai after it. These weren't isolated phenomena, they were part of a continuous tradition of African state-building, trade, and cultural achievement that stretched across centuries. The Kingdom of Kush, the Ethiopian Empire, Great Zimbabwe, Africa has always been home to sophisticated civilizations that were integral to global trade and cultural exchange. Mansa Musa's story reminds us that Africa wasn't on the periphery of world history. It was at its very center. His incredible story reminds us that centuries ago, Africa was home to one of the richest and most advanced kingdoms in the world. And yes, the richest man in known history truly was African, Mansa Musa of Mali, the legendary king of gold. But perhaps Musa's greatest legacy isn't his wealth, it's his vision. He understood that true power comes not just from gold, but from knowledge, culture, and the ability to inspire others. In building the University of Sankore and transforming Timbuktu into a center of learning, he created something that outlasted his empire and continues to inspire us today. If this story of Africa's Golden King has opened your eyes to the continent's rich history, don't let it end here. Subscribe to this channel for more deep dives into the civilizations and discoveries that shaped our world. Visit the Archaeologist website to explore daily archaeological news and in-depth articles about ancient civilizations from Africa, Egypt, Rome, Greece, and beyond. Like this video if Mansa Musa's story amazed you, and share it to help others discover the truth about Africa's legendary past. Comment below and tell us, what aspect of Mansa Musa's story surprised you most? Together, let's continue uncovering the incredible stories that remind us that human achievement knows no boundaries, and that sometimes the most extraordinary tales come from the places we least expect to find them.